world look like through the narcissist's eyes? Okay, let's step into his shoes for a moment and try and view the world from his eyes so we can get a better understanding of this predator, his nature, his outlook, and his pitfalls. Firstly, what they view is the world is their oyster and they are king. King baby. If you don't know what that means, go check it. King baby. But the world is their oyster. Everything exists for them and they are the only one that truly exists. Everyone else is like an NCP, a non-character player, I think that's what it's called in gaming. It's just like something that you ignore in the Matrix. There's all of these people walking by, but they're bots or they're just figments of your imagination. They're not real, but they're fillers in your dream, like movie extras, but they're not really real, except in movie extras they're real. But if you think about in the movie Inception, all the characters in the dream, as you're going through the dream, are all figments of your own imagination or projections of you. They're not really there. They view people outside of themselves as these figments of their imagination and as consumable products and items. They objectify everyone outside of themselves as a product to be utilized, consumed. Number two, they have a false sense of self or a false identity. Although they think that they are the only real ones in the center of their world, they do create a false or fake persona because their inner child is so damaged that they were stunted at a certain age, okay? They had stuntedness at their an arrested development. They got stuck at about age 4, 5, 6, whatever it was, around the age of their trauma, and they ceased to develop and individuate past that age. So they remain trapped in an adult body as the body ages and goes through the years. But the mentality, the psychology, the emotional EQ level is that of a 4-year-old or somewhere under 10. So they created this false self as a shield or an armor. Imagine kind of a glass bubble. All of the glass bubble is filled up with mirrors that reflect a distorted version of themselves back to them. Imagine going to the circus and going to Crazy Mirror Town, and you get all those weird undulating oblong mirrors, and they reflect back to you a distorted version of you, of your reflection. For the covert narcissist, his reality is internal, and reality, meaning the people outside, the actual human beings that exist outside of him, do not reflect back his superiority. So he believes he is this untapped genius, this unknown prodigy that is not yet understood. Nobody gets him. Everyone misunderstands his intelligence. He's too evolved and too intelligent and spiritually elevated for anyone else to get him. So everyone outside of him is misunderstanding him. That is why they don't realize that he's actually a genius, or they would be lauding and applauding him. The overt narcissist, reality does reflect back that yes, they are maybe A, good at what they do, or B, they are super confident, charismatic, and outgoing, and the life of the party. So, in other words, to summarize, both have a false sense of self and a fake reality or imagined self that they portray to the world. In reality, they're hollow and underdeveloped. They have not yet individuated from mother. They have not yet left mother or grown up from her and traversed the stages through to adulthood like normal people do. They're still looking for mother, which is what they seek out in every woman that they meet. Number three, because they see you as an object and a consumable product, they do not value your thoughts, your opinions, your dreams, your concerns, desires. They don't matter. Unless two things happen. Unless it's to study you so that they get this information, to love bomb you so that they can ensnare you and trap you. Or number two, in order for it to be a transactional deal so that they can hold an IOU card over your head in future for all of the nice things that they've done for you. Number four, in order to get into a relationship with a narcissist, you need to buy into their idea of the false self, their false identity, and enter into a dreamlike state of relationship, which is this fantasy or this shared fantasy. So it's a fantasy fake world, as if you're stepping into a simulator. For example, a flight simulator. It's an aircraft, but it's grounded And when you go inside, it's meant to move and wobble and have velocity and stuff flying at you to appear that you are in the sky, but it is on the ground, and there's screens and wind machines and other things just to give you the illusion that you are flying through the sky, but you're absolutely on terra firma. You will need to step into this simulator. He has created and is the god of this simulator. By God I mean creator of the simulator. He has engineered in his machinations this relationship based on his false self and his ego, and what he wants to be portrayed as in the relationship, and you have to buy into it. So if his crazy making machinations lead him to create a simulation where he is, let's say, the greatest engineer on planet Earth, you will have to go into that simulation and play his game at his level and say to him, yes sir, yes, you are the greatest engineer on Earth. Oh my God, how smart you are. Praise, adulation, adoration, almost bordering on worship. So you have to buy his bollocks. You have to feed yourself all the craziness that he gives you, and you have to allow yourself into his world, even a little bit, so that he thinks that you will play his game with him. That is what is meant by supply. Will you play his game with him? Now, there's levels of supply. Supply will be nice and sweet and bending over and doing everything for him. But the supply he really craves is the one who will put him in his place and tell him, no, I'm not going to do that. It could go one of two ways depending on how much he likes you. Either he could have huge narcissistic injury, which is more than likely to happen anyway, or he will kick you out of his life, he will punish you, cause you tremendous pain, or he will abandon you or torture you to the point where you leave him. Number 5 is, because of the simulation he has created, he will dictate to you how you feel. So imagine going to an adult and saying, you feel this, you don't feel that. No, don't tell me what you feel. I will tell you what you feel. Firstly, that's very invalidating and downright rude. Okay? I know, and everyone else knows how they feel and what they feel and how to read and analyze their own emotions. If someone comes to you and dictates to you, no, you're actually not feeling that, you're feeling this, that is now trying to recreate the reality and the calibration within your own system. That's going to mess you up pretty badly if you let them have the reins to that. You're going to have to submit to him and say, yes sir, you're right, I'm actually not angry, I'm just very excited. Surefire path to lunacy, straight up insanity. You will lose your mind. Number 6, imagine because of this simulator they created, they pick an avatar. Just as if, because my ex used to play Dungeons and Dragons, if you go to the game, you have to select a costume, select an avatar. You know what's an avatar? It's a visual representation or image of the character. You would have to select his armor, select his shield, select his weaponry, select his powers, select all different types, his shoes, select his hair, his mustache, whatever it is, okay? So just like that, in this shared fantasy delusional simulation that he has created for the two of you, he's picked out all of his stuff, but he's going to pick out your stuff too, because it's his simulation you're entering. He's going to tell you, right, stop wearing makeup, stop wearing heels, I want you to dress like this, don't dress like that. You will shine and polish my shield and my spear and my sword. You will, look how beautiful I am in this armor. And you have to be like, yes, 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 like the Emperor's new clothes. Everyone was like, it's the Emperor, just shut your mouth and play along and look how beautiful he looks. But then it takes a little child who's innocent and pure to tell them, look, he's actually naked. But then that child becomes the enemy and causing narcissistic injury to the king. How dare this child come and tell him the truth that he's actually naked? So in this avatar that they create, they will also have their hook. The hook in which they hook you and snare you, trap you. It is something that makes them special in their eyes. Maybe they think they're intellectual geniuses. They will write the best poetry. Or they will, dumbfound you with their brilliance through mentioning whatever they've memorized off the first page of the encyclopedia. They have shallow and superficial levels of confidence, but their delusion lets out that it's more than that. So they convince, if they're good enough, they convince people that they're actually better than they are, so that people buy into their bullshit. But really, they've just memorized a few things here, a few things there, and made up this persona or this illusion of intelligence and intellectual ability, and then they pass it off when the slightest thing is remarked at or mentioned in the conversation. Then they contribute with that, but really it's a shallow definition. You also have to understand that because they're living in a simulator, in a deluded concept of reality, it's not the real world, they have disassociated. So many times you'll find them here in body, the lights are on, but no one's home. They're vacant. They're glazed over. They're not really here. They're disassociated from reality. He says, I cannot enter your world. I cannot enter your world anymore. Your world is stifling me. I cannot enjoy or want to be a part of your world. I was like, what the hell is he talking about? Which world is he in? We're both on planet Earth. I don't know which world this guy's talking about. As I began to study and become more acquainted with the covert narcissist disorder, it became very clear and apparent to me that they do not dwell in the same realm as we do. We live in the real world on planet Earth with problems and strife, and it's difficult. There's harsh reality, it's brutal, it's very harsh on the soul and hard on the heart. However, this guy, or the narcissist, whether he could be male or female, wants to live in their alternate reality of their own creation so that they can escape the brutality of real life. They cannot survive in the real world. So they disassociate from reality. They're more often than not found daydreaming or in a bubble or in seclusion or with their demons or, huddling by themselves somewhere in a corner, ruminating over something in their own inner world. You have to give them positive feedback about their reality, otherwise it means you're opting out of their game and therefore abandoning them or rejecting them. They have to feel like you are somehow playing this game with them so that they feel like they can bring you into their world and control you. Because they cannot control you if you are in your world. That's not where they reside. Due to them being a 4-year-old in an adult's body, they cannot reason with you. They cannot understand your point of view. They do not care about your judgments. They only care about their own. They can never empathize or relate to you like a normal adult can. They will throw fits. They will throw tantrums, except they have the strength of a grown man, and this is what is so scary. They're ultra competitive, tit for tat. They must have the last word in a fight, or they must have the last throw or the last anything in the blow that lands. They don't know how to play nicely in the sandbox together with you. They will make sure that they torture you. They're very selfish. It's like, a little toddler goes, these toys are mine. They're mine. Don't touch them. They're mine. That's exactly how they behave with all of their possessions. You, being their wife or husband, is a possession to them. You're an object, remember? So they will fight over you as if you are theirs, but they do not in a protective, caring way. They do it in a very possessive, jealous way because they see you as an object. You're not real, you're just a little token piece, a little avatar, a little board, a chess piece on a board. They will eliminate anyone not engaging in their shared fantasy, role play, cosplay game for two, because they want to be the gods of their own world. And how dare you tell them that they're not? No, they won't take that very well. So this is a little sneak peek into the mentality, mind, and world of the narcissist and how they view the outside world. I hope I've given you some insight into his psyche or her psyche, and this will help you on your way to better understanding the demon that you have let into your house and how to, hopefully restrain him until you can find a solution to your problem. But this will give you a better understanding of what you're dealing with. Know thy enemy, and you shall prosper, inshallah. And with that being said, all my love, assalamu alaikum, and goodbye.